Hello. I don't know if you all got the message on Classroom, but I put up the size of the paper that you're gonna need. We have a couple minutes, so if you haven't gotten it yet, it is 16 wide minimum. I mean, that's just enough. And then 25 in height or, yeah, height. Okay, so if you're getting ready for that.
Professor, I just have a quick question. Last time, in class, I just asked you, and then you say 24 square. So I
Yeah.
cut it 24 square. Will that still work, or?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I knew I had checked it this morning and I thought, oh, they're gonna be confused, but no, more is always fine.
All right. Thank you.
Right. Let's see. 59. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead. Is there any other questions before?
Well, it's not a question, but I was just wondering, like, if you could, like, possibly, like, pin yourself, like, on for the screen, so, like, while we're doing it, like, it doesn't go in and out, if that's
Yeah, can you help me to how to do that? Because I don't know how to do that.
I think if you press on your video, so on the side, like, it shows, like, the people. So if you press on your self, like, the three little dot,
Oh, yeah.
it has pin. It says pin. I don't know if you see it.
Okay, how's that?
Yes, great.
Okay, I'm glad now I learned that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because I've seen, like, your recordings, because, like, if there is, like, two students, like, I only see, like, very little, so it's hard for me to, like, review and, like, see what's going on. So yeah.
Got it, totally. Okay, good. Thank you for telling me that. I'll go ahead and flip my screen. I can wait a couple minutes, maybe 2 minutes, just to see who else comes on here. And again, for those of you, I think just maybe Amber just came in. The size of the paper that we're using here is at least 16 wide by 25 tall, or yeah, tall. If you have more, that's okay. That's different from what I told you. Originally, I said 24 by 24. That's totally fine. 24. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, let me just flip this over.
What are you gonna do here? I need the paper.
You're not muted.
Sorry.
That's okay. So I'll just wait a minute or two more. This first part, just you don't have to do anything. I'm gonna just go over the process of figuring out what the beginning parts of your sleeve. It starts out with the sloper. So this is something that since we all have the same measurements, you don't have to do this, but if you needed to, at some point later on, if you're developing your own sloper, you would need to know this. So it's sort of helpful for you for the future. So I'll just wait one more minute. In fact, I'll take a look at how many people are here. Participants, 13. Okay, that seems about right. And again, if you didn't see the message on Classroom today, the tools that you're going to be needing are your French curve. You are going to need a tracing wheel, some sort of tracing wheel, or your awl, that's fine, but tracing wheel is fine today. And then just a regular clear ruler, and that should do it. Anybody have any questions before we begin?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
I see your draft here. Did you, because you said you have to use the sloper, the torso, right? And which line you're gonna, because I think I'm sorry.
So you don't need to worry about this part. This is just, I'm going over it.
Okay.
You don't need this for yourself. This is just information.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. So whenever you're developing a sleeve sloper, where does the sleeve come from? It comes from the armhole, right? So you always have to refer back to your sloper in order to do your sleeve. So that's why we do it last, is because hopefully your sloper is perfect, and then you add in the sleeve, because the sleeve has a whole new set of problems, right? So as I've mentioned before, many times now, when you finished up with your sloper, which has the ease in it, then you should have a 1/2 inch difference in your front and the back. So the front is always smaller. You can just imagine how it is on your own body, probably smaller on the front, bigger on the back by at least a 1/2 inch. It can be more, but 1/2 inch in industry is standard. Okay. So I'm assuming that everybody has the same measurements that I do. If you're off by an 1/8 or even probably a 1/4, I don't think it's going to matter at all. So we're all going to use the same measurements today. So the measurements that I got on my armhole are 9 1/4 on the back and 8 3/4 for the front, which is not written in pen here, 8 3/4. So this is just information for developing your sleeve whenever you do it. This is all in the book as well, but this is just the visual way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to figure out the total amount that I need for my armhole, and then we always add in ease. Okay, so let's just take this apart here. I'm just adding up here, doing my math. I have 9 1/4 for my back. I have 8 3/4 for my front. So I have 17 plus 1 is 18. That's the total that I need for no ease. I'm going to add in 1 inch of ease. That's, again, an easy amount to get in. If you're sewing it, it's enough. It's kind of a generic amount. Your sleeve is always bigger than your armhole because you have a shoulder. So the ease helps. And like we saw in the little mini sleeve that we did, the ease helps round out that so that it actually can go over your shoulder and fit. So the total number, the total amount that we're dealing with here is 19 inches. Okay. Okay, so that's the beginning part of the sleeve, is figuring out how much you need front and back, and then how much ease you're adding, and then your total amount. In this draft, I'm going to move back now as I'm talking, is there's many different types of sleeve drafts, and this is just one method. They all kind of work, but they are a little bit different in the way that they go about things. Okay, so now I'm going to set up for this next part. I'm going to need the whole piece of paper, so I'll do a little bit of an angle here. You can see. And again, I'm going to start out with some sort of preliminary information here as well, that I'm going to just put on this upper part here, scratch paper. So if you were drafting this based on your own measurements, you would look in the book on page 167. And like usual in this book, there's lots of charts for everything. And this draft, sleeve draft, is based on a square size, which relates to this chart here. We'll go down here, which again, you don't really need to know this right now. We're all going to have the same square, but just so you kind of know where to go. We look at, in this chart on page 167, the total armhole front and back plus ease. So we have 19, right? We are going to go down the chart, find 19. And if it doesn't fit within the chart, you go to the closest one and then go across, and that's the size of your square. So our square is going to be 3 5/8. Okay, so just a little note up here. Square size is 3 5/8. Lots of times things don't fit in this chart, and she has a little caveat down here that if it doesn't fit in, round down. Okay, so just again for your information there. So I'm going to put this aside here. Oh, you can't see my little measurement. I just wrote 3 5/8 up there to remind myself. And then I'm going to put this aside, and then we're going to actually get started. So I'm not going to cruise through this, but I am going to kind of go through, and I'll stop periodically. Please don't write in the chat because I can't see it. And I'm going to be sort of going along. So if you have a question, or if I'm going way too fast, jump in, but I'm going to try to sort of break it up into little sections. Okay, so the first thing we do, just like we do on every draft, is we're going to start out with a central line that's going to be our grain line. I'm going to try to find a middle. I think I have 16 here for my size. So 16 divided by 8. So here's my center line here, just to make sure that I'm in the right, have enough space on the even side. So right in the middle, and this is going to be both my grain line and the center of the sleeve. I'm just going to draw that in. It's going to go all the way through the paper. I forgot to change the date. This final is due at midnight tonight. I forgot to change that date. I have to do that for myself. Okay, so grain line's on there. The next thing I'm going to do is establish the top, which is just whatever your first grid line is. And this is just going to be a short little line, just kind of establishes going to be the top of the sleeve at the shoulder. So just in line with your grid.
Nancy, was that an inch down, or is it right at the top?
It's sort of like your first grid line, so it doesn't really matter. It's just sort of a placement of where you're going to stop.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. From there, we're going to go down the full length of the sleeve. And the full length of the sleeve is 23 in this case. We have experimented a little bit with this. 22 is very common, but it tends to be a little small. Now, if you, well, let me just finish this thought here. From my little black mark up at the top, I'm going to put my 23 and I'm going to measure down to the bottom, mark it. I'll show you what that end point is, a little dot right now. I want to, let's see, I was gonna say that for those of you that I gave 25 as your length, you may end up right on the edge of the paper, and that's okay. If you end up right on the edge, it's not a problem. Okay, but I'm about an inch away. That's gonna be the bottom. And again, that was 23 inches.
Sorry, I have a question. So for the top, we went down to 1 inch, right?
It doesn't really matter, but it's my first grid line.
Oh, okay.
23. Okay, now I don't need this lower part for a while, so I'm just gonna scoot up so we can see this a little bit easier. And the next thing I'm gonna do is go down, and you're not gonna know what's going on for a little while, but you'll start to see it soon. From my top mark here, I'm gonna go down 1 3/4. I'm gonna write this in here, 1 3/4, and make a bigger line. And you don't have to know exactly how much, but it's maybe 3 inches, about 3 inches on both sides. Okay, so again, 3, 4, something like that on both sides. Down 1 3/4. Let's get even closer.
Sorry, on the side, I'm sorry, you said down 1 3/4 and both sides, what are the measurements? I'm sorry.
At this point, it's just like maybe 3, 4 inches, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now what this line that I have just established is going to be is my squares. We're going to have 2 squares right next to each other. They're both the same size as squares are, but we're going to establish 1 square on one side, 1 square on the other side. So I'm going to do that now. The size of my square is 3 5/8. So from my center line, nothing complicated here. I'm just sort of talking my way through it. From my center line, on one side of the line, I'm going to go 3 5/8, make a little mark. I'm going to do the other side of the line, the same thing. 3 5/8 is here. And then I'm also going to go down 3 5/8. 3 5/8 cross mark, and then form the squares. It'll take me a little time to make sure I have this correct. Okay, so all right, so I'm just going to write this in here. 3 5/8, 3 5/8. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is divide the height of my square into 3 parts. Now, I don't fuss with this very much. I know what 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 5/8 divided by 3 doesn't come out to anything clean. So I'm going to say it's 1 and, well, I'm going to estimate here. And this is how I would do this. I'm going to say 1 and 3/16 and see if that works. 1 and 3/16, 1 and 3/16, and that comes out to about pretty close to 1 and 3/16. So I'm just going to push that a little bit. Okay, the only little tick mark I need is on the top third. So I'm going to go 1 and 3/16, and I'm going to go a little bit past that. And it goes on both sides of the square. So I'm going to say plus, let's see, this is the way woodworkers do it. 1 and 3/16 plus mark means a little bit more down, and all you need is the first third.
Sorry, I didn't get the little line you put. I wasn't catching up.
This one?
Yeah.
So from your square, top of your square, you're going to go down and make a mark at about 1 and 3/16. Both sides. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is go at the bottom of the square, past the square, just at the edge. I'm going to go down and make a little mark at 5/8. 5/8 inch down. Just a little cross mark again. 5/8. Okay, and then I'm gonna do one more little increment here, and then we'll be able to draw. Oh no, sorry. We have a few more things to do. Slow down, Nancy. So the next thing I'm going to do is divide the square on, let's see, on your right, this one, in half at the bottom. So I have 3 and 5/8 is the size of my square. So I'm going to do 1.5 for 3, and then 5/16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it is. So it's right in the middle. 1 and 13/16. Yeah, 1 and 13/16, and on the other side is 1 and 13/16. So the visual, the center there.
Wait, so what was the measurement for the half mark?
1, this one?
Mhm.
1 and 13/16.
Okay, thank you.
12, 13. And now we have enough information that we can draw in the curve. This is going to be, well, it helps us get to the underarm curve. Okay, so we're gonna be putting your French curve on that side, connecting 1, 2, 3 points. Just like all curves, we want to make sure that this ends up straight down here, so it's not swoopy. So it doesn't go below that at all. It hits all 3 points perfectly. And then you can draw that in. So this is looking like that, the way you're going to do it. And it's really important on sleeves to pay attention to the way the curve is, because it will get weird if you don't.
Professor,
Yeah,
can you say what the halfway mark was one more time?
1 and 13/16.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to double check the middle line, this inside the square. That's the same amount as the line we went out, right?
I'm not sure. You mean here and here?
Yes,
Yes, they are the same.
they're the same. Okay,
3 and 5/8.
3 and
There's only a few patterns that we have where we're not symmetrical. Like a sleeve is one of them. It doesn't seem like it. And on t-shirts, it's not, but on woven garments, it is. There's a different thing going on the front than there is on the back. And we're doing front and back. I think that's right. And that's like pants, where you have, something going on one side of it, something else going on the other, and they're totally different. They're not symmetrical. The same thing is going to happen here, but it's more subtle. So we've developed the front curve, underarm curve, and now we're going to develop the back underarm curve. And the way this happens is a little bit different. It's going to go from, make sure I'm doing this. Yeah. We're going to go from the 5/8 inch mark down at the bottom to the 1/3 mark on the opposite side. And that's going to be a diagonal straight line. And I'm just going to do this dotted so that it sort of looks different. Oops. Dotted line. Okay. I'm going to divide that line in half. So the total length of the line is about 4 and 15/16. Okay, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna center my another cheating. Center my ruler over the line. Ruler isn't quite long enough. Center my ruler over the line and then make it 5 and divide the 5 in half. So 2.5. Double check my measurement. So it's about 2 and 7/16 on one side of the line and 2 and 7/16 on the other side of the line.
For that diagonal line, I didn't get 5 inches.
4 15/16.
Uh, 4, 12, 16.
Anybody else get the same thing?
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, so it could be because of my pen. Again, everything gets really fat. So that's fine. Just use what you have. Make sure you're going all the way down. I'm gonna just double check that I'm going all the way to there. Yeah, and you can just use what you have, and that would be, yeah, I can kind of see how you would have that. 2 3/8, so it'd be very similar. And that's gonna center point is gonna drop outside at a 90-degree angle, 1/2 inch. So we divide that line in half, go out a 1/2 inch. Okay. This gives us enough information to do the back curve. So again, we're taking 3 points, 1, 2, 3. You're going to flip your curve around from the way it was the first time, flip it around, connect all 3 points. Now, again, I want this 5/8 mark should be flat. So it may not all connect perfectly. So in the end, you want it to be like a seamless line, one front to back. So no little jagged. So I had to sort of adjust. All right. I'm gonna see if I can fit this. Yeah. We're ready to do the top part of the curve next. Same thing as the 5/8 inch mark at the top. We want it to be flat, very flat, round, but flat. And I only have 2 points to match here. This could be a criticism of this draft, but that's the way it is. So I'm going to go from 1 point to 2 points with it curve being up like this. So I'm just adjusting till I can get to both. And again, I'm hitting the line. It's not just 1 point. So it should kind of look like an eye. It's not 2 curves put together. It should again seamlessly go from one side to the next. Whoops. So I got the one side. Flip around your curve, and then same thing on the other. All right, I'm gonna move back. We're gonna work on the lower part of it here. That's good. This is easy, this next part. So for the next part, what I'm gonna do is extend the square all the way down to my hem level. Okay, in other words, bring it down, both sides, all the way down to the bottom. So let's see here. And again, try to make sure that you're following your grid. It's there to help you. Yeah. And I'm just gonna close off the bottom.
Could I see like how it looks, the top part? Thank you.
All right. So this forms,
Sorry. I'm sorry. What's the total length of the skirt again? Oh, I'm sorry, the sleeves again. It's 22 or 25. I got confused here.
23, right in the middle.
Oh, 23. Okay.
So that is from the top mark to the bottom mark. Right? So this forms the information that we need to complete the sleeve. So there's not going to be any more, well, there's going to be one more measurement, but everything, this is like the sleeve. So basically we're at this point, what we're going to be doing is folding under and tracing so that we get the true underarm. Okay, so I can explain that a little bit better. This part, let's see, the top part here is the top of the sleeve is called the cap, where you put your shoulder. And now the underarm we've developed under here, but we want to have it coming out here. So that's what we're doing next. So the easiest way to do this, I'll do one side first, is to take the line that we just drew, the square size, and score it lightly. Don't go too crazy. And we're going to be folding it all the way through the paper. So I'll go all the way down. And it folds under. And then with your tracing wheel, you're gonna trace the curve, one side of the curve to the middle line. Don't go past the middle line here. So can you see what I'm doing? I think so. Try to be really careful with your tracing wheel. Don't, go all over the place. Just one run of it. And all you need is the actual curve to there. And that's just the lower curve. I should say I don't need the top curve at all. And then I always also go over it with my awl to figure out where that actual middle section is, because it's hard to see it there. I can also do this one here just in case for some reason I might need it. Different kind of a hole. So it's just that one side of the curve there. I'm going to open it up. And we're going to draw it in. I can see my dots here. I'm sure you can't. Here, I can see exactly where I need to end because of my awl hole. If you can't tell exactly where to end, fold it back up and make sure you can actually see that, because otherwise it's going to get really long. And then the way I'm going to do the ruler this time is like this. I think that's a frontward 6 to you guys. So this way, and I'm going, so again, smooth line, seamless line, going from my cap. So I'm trying to match the dots, but I'm also trying to match this earlier curved line, cap curved line, and I'm ending right at my dot. So I ended up not being exactly on my dots, but that's okay. I'm at the top, I'm not, but at the bottom I am. Does that make sense? This is where I need to stop. Okay. And now I'm going to move along to the other side and do exactly the same thing. So this is the back side. I'm going to score it first. Fold it under. Under. Trace my back underarm curve again with the tracing wheel. I'm going to poke my awl where I started, where I end. Open it up. You're going to flip your curve the opposite way. You know exactly where to stop. And it's a smooth line going into the cap. I'll give you a close-up of that. Or overhead view. Okay. And now we're going to go down again to that hem level. Here. I'll use a purple pen for this. Nothing major. We're in the home stretch here. Right now we have a very small wrist. This is like from one side to the other. You might be able to fit it over your wrist, but you probably couldn't get it over your hand. That's always the sort of key here. You got to be able to get it over your hand. So we're going to extend it on both sides. So from the grain line, you're going to extend it over 4.5 on one side and 4.5 on the other. So the grain line always sits in the middle. It's even. 4.5 on one side of the grain. It's going to go out a little bit. Same thing on the other side, 4.5 on the other side. That was 4.5. There. Okay. And now I'm going to connect the underarm. So that goes from the hem to the armpit here. One straight diagonal line. Could have done it in black, but I forgot. Underarm. And same thing on the other side.
Sorry, what was the measurement for the bottom of it?
4.5 and 4.5, so 9 total.
And then towards the other side of the sleeve, the outer part.
I didn't measure. You mean this?
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know. I just measured from here past that till I got to 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The last thing that we'll do with the main sleeve is establish the elbow line, which is always nice to know in case you want to have a short sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve. And I'm going to give you a measurement on that one. We're going to measure from the hem up 10 inches for the elbow. And I think that in the instructions that you have in the book, it's actually a measurement, a client measurement. So again, that was 10 inches up, and that's the elbow level. It just goes all the way straight across.
Wait, from where did you measure the 10?
From the bottom
Okay, thank you.
up. So the last thing we're going to do is establish the notches at the cap. Well, we'll also put some at the elbow line, but we're pretty much done. So are there any questions to answer at this point? If you've gotten pretty far along, but you just have some little piece that you missed, you could ask.
I was trying so long to fold the side of the thing that I missed how to get the curved part of the sleeve at the end.
This part.
I forgot, yeah.
Okay, so you got your fold under like that.
Yes.
You trace this.
Okay,
Did you do that?
yeah, I did that.
You did that, okay. Poke at the center and at the edge, and then open it, just making sure that, you know. And then one curve is gonna go this way. Use your curve. It just goes from end to the beginning of the edge of the eye.
Okay.
Like that. And then the other one flip and same thing.
So you just flipped it over and scored it and then did it?
And draw it in, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
So for that too, it's just two dots, right? We do not need the third one.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
Okay.
you could put it in, but you don't really need to because you needed that dot to get the curve. Now you have the curve, you don't really need it.
Yes, and also for the diagonal, I have a different one. So when I put the half inch out, should I like, because it's the points are not like quite matching for mine, even after like putting the half inch out.
Okay, do you mean, because I could, oops, hopefully I didn't, okay, I just hit a key. So see how my curve is different? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's the way the French curve is, so that's correct.
Yeah, because it looks a little like after the curve from the main dot to the half inch, it looks curved, but afterwards from there it looks like a diagonal line on mine.
It looks like a what?
A straight line.
Straight line, yeah,
Like-
that's okay. I mean, you can sort of adjust it. You want it to be curved, but it doesn't. I mean, if you think, use your best judgment, I guess, at this point, is you maybe, if you hit all 3 points, you should be fine. But I did have to adjust mine a little bit over to make sure that this was really flat down here. So you might play with that. Mine is very flat too. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, I have a question, like on my side, so the curve, one side's kind of half inch bigger than another side. You know, when you close the sleeve, I think it's the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry, and the back. I'm not sure, but to me, the back sleeve is always bigger a little bit than the front. I'm not sure if I did wrong the measurements here, what I did, but it's a half inch bigger. I'm not sure. On your paper, I see like even both ends of the curve, the wing. Do you know what
The
I'm saying?
wing, like here? Whoop.
Yes, yes. Yes, right there. Yeah, yeah. This one
Here.
where you touch. Yes.
I think they're gonna be the same, but let me double check that. So, this is, well, it would be the same size as your square, I think, 3 5/8 here and 3 5/8 here.
Okay, I think I did wrong. I'm gonna redo again. Thank you so
So
much.
the squares, make sure your squares are the same size. I've seen that happen many, many times. I think I've done it myself where I thought the square was actually square and it wasn't actually square. So
And my measurements was wrong. To me, I have hard time to figure out 5/8 squares and things like that, but I will figure out. Thank you.
okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I had a question. So for the diagonal lines on the sides, did you measure the 4.5 from the middle or from the like edge?
From the middle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, from the middle. Okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna scoot it up and we'll do the notches here. We'll just focus on the cap. Well, let's put a label on before we move on to that so that people who are a little behind can get it caught up. So it's just going to be your totally basic label that we've been doing all semester. This is your basic sleeve. Sloper, size 6. And that's it. Okay, so nothing fancy there. There are other types of sleeves. There are sleeves with darts in the elbow. There's 2-piece sleeves for jackets. So that's why I called it a basic sleeve. And you can do that. And then we'll scoot up here to the cap to finish up the notches. Notches are in red. Okay. We have a total of 4 notches in the cap. I'm not going to do them in order. I'm going to do them by most forgotten. So the one that very often gets forgotten or confused is the one at the cap. It's, remember back when we used the little mini sleeve, it's not right in the middle. It's not right in the middle. It's towards the front. This is my front here, towards the front by 1/4 inch. So there it is, big old notch. 1/4 inch towards the front. Nothing happens at the center. No notch at the center. That's why I'm putting that there, just so that you don't put it there. 1/4 inch towards the front of the grain line. And then we'll go to the back next. This is my back. We're measuring from the armpit. And we're going to go, this is the same as what we did on the armhole in the sloper and the moulage. We're going up along the curve for the back 3 inches first, and then 1/4 inch past that. So again, you got to do your ruler on like this. And other people, I think Danette does it differently. I just really like to do it this way. I've done it both, and this to me is good. Whatever you pick, 3 and then 1/4 inch past that. My recommendation is to stay with it for a while. I mean, you're going to want to go back and forth and try different things. But I remember years of having like it being different measurements. So sort of try picking one method and sticking with it for a while so that you really get a hang of it. 3 inches and then 1/4 inch past that for the back. And then for the front, we do 3.5. Again, you may see different measurements here. This is again, just the one method that we're learning puts the notches in here. It's just typically right in that curve so that you can find it. Okay, those are the notches. 4 notches total. That's it. Let me, you can begin, if you're feeling good about it, you can begin taking pictures of it. I'm gonna go ahead and change that time. And then if you have any questions after that, the time that it's due while you guys are sitting here. Okay, can't do that.
Yes, Professor, one last question. We done, we just gonna take pictures, and turn in for you, it is, or you want us to put in a, transfer to another paper?
You can just take it like this, is fine. I'm gonna encourage you to put it on tag paper for your next class or for when you need it again, but I'm not gonna grade it like that. So just for this, just like this is fine.
Thank you so much. Well, there's kind of messy writing over. So yeah, because I need all the measurements, I need to record everything. Thank you so much. So we done?
We are done. So I'll go ahead, and if you want to stay on, that's fine. But if you got it, I'm changing, let's see. Sleeves.
I gotta go. My daughter's getting sick. I had to take her to hospital yesterday, today.
Oh.
I need another finals. I'm sorry, but I gotta go now.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks.
Oh, I said cut out when complete. Let me edit that. Shoot, this is hard to do with this. Draft on dot paper, cut out when complete. No seam allowance. And I'll take out this. I do like to see, I wrote in the instructions, measure each line when complete and write the measurement in so that I can see it. I'm gonna leave that in. And actually, I think this has changed back on whole square size 3 and 5/8. Wrist 9, full length 3, elbow depth. We take that out. Well, that's fine. I'll just leave that 13th. I think that came from the last time. Okay, and then I'm going to change this to midnight. Save. And somebody's already turned it in. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Do you want us to measure the line that connects the bottom to the top of the sleeve part or no? Not measure it, but like put the measurement for that.
Yeah. So essential measurements do put the measurements in. So I'm not going to be too picky about this, but for example, 23 inches, you're 9 here or 4.5 and 4.5. You know, that's probably pretty good there. If you have the measurements on your square, you can just leave them. You don't have to take them out. You know, how you got there is, you can leave all that in there. It's fine with me.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing I want to say, hopefully, let's see how many people, 13 still, okay. If I have noted that you have put things in the wrong place, you don't have to, I don't think you can remove them, but make sure that you put as you're finishing things up here, make sure that you submit them in the right place. If it was just one person, it wouldn't be difficult, but when it gets to be like 4 or 5 different students, it's hard for me to keep track. Again, if you put it in the wrong place by mistake, you don't have to do anything, just put the right thing in there as well so that I can keep track of what goes where. And then I'll go ahead and I guess I should ask, do you guys need to keep seeing it? Talk to me.
I'm good.
All right.
Really good. I'm just triple checking, but I know it's probably obvious. You did send an email saying that there's to not turn anything in under completed disability project.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And I'll be compiling all that and putting the grade in there. So you don't have to put anything in there, but that's where the grade's going to show up.
Okay, thought so. Great. Thank you.
If you start everybody thinking about your dress form for the fall, I'm going to have a meeting with everybody tomorrow, and I'm going to bring it up and see what our options are, what's going to be, so I'll be in touch with all of you regarding that. But you should start thinking about what you're going to do. Half of the class is going to get fit into the regular session, the regular in-class space on campus, and the other half is going to be online. And much of it will depend on where you are in the program. Like if you're a senior, they want to get you out of here. You're going to get the one you want, but don't just assume you're going to get the in-class option. And I wouldn't wait. I would grab it once you get it, because there's always a few people that can't fit it in. Yes,
Nancy, is that for Kamal's class and your class? Okay.
right. Kamal's is usually on campus.
Okay.
So face-to-face, I should say. And then as far as I know, mine is still online. People want online options. So.
Okay, thank you.
And Tracy, go ahead. I don't know what happened to her. All right, for the rest of you, just keep checking your emails over the summer in case something comes up. Otherwise, you're free to go.
May I ask you one more thing about your professional opinion?
Sure.
If with the computer aided design course, if we're not able to get that during our experience, our college career, is that like pivotal for employment to know?
Yes, you're talking about like Illustrator and Photoshop and stuff like that?
Yeah, and then I thought that there was even more, like I was trying to sign up for a summer session, but there were not enough students signing up. And I don't know, I'm assuming it will be offered again, either fall or spring.
I don't know. I know they want people to, sorry, I'm just trying to switch around my screen.
Yeah.
I know they want people to take that. It's really, really important.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they could, it all depends on whether they can fit it in. But let me give you a resource that I can, if you all have access to it. Here. I took several different Illustrator classes and I just struggled with it horribly for some reason. It just didn't click with me. But this book worked for me. Adobe for Fashion, Illustrator, CS6. Robin Schneider.
Adobe for Fashion. CS6.
You can see all my little tags here. It's not perfect, but it's 95%. And she's got a website, I think, too. I just went page by page, and it took me a while, but I figured it out. I mean, it's not like I'm an expert, but it's the only thing that really worked for me.
Okay.
Nobody's saying that you have to have a class for it. They want you to have, to be comfortable with it. I think it's more important than pattern drafting. I mean,
That's what I've heard. And
Yeah.
yes, I've been having difficulty signing up for it. So, okay.
you could also look at City College and yeah, City College.
Oh, good idea. Okay.
Yeah, because what is free, right?
Oh,
If
it probably is if you're a resident.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or anyway, $30 or something. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wait, why is it more important than pattern drafting?
well, it
Illustrator.
depends on what you want to go into. But if you it's very likely that your first job in the industry is going to be working with tech packs. If you're looking at, you know, all the jobs out there and the average number of jobs that are going to be working with Illustrator, it's going to be a higher amount than working with a pattern maker. Companies need one pattern maker. They need, you know, something like Corette. They probably have, I don't know, 5 or 10. Well, they don't have as many pattern makers. They need people working tech packs because more and more the pattern making is going overseas. I don't want to discourage you from pattern making. If it's what you like to do, then that's what you should do. But it's just also very important if you want to land a job, that's going to be on your resume.
Good to know. Okay, thank you.
I'm pinned on here, so I'm just like looking at myself.
Thank you for your knowledge and for your time and this class, Nancy. It's been really good.
Great, I'm so happy. Hope to see you all in draping.
Thank you.
Let
Thank you,
me know.
Nancy.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Professor, can you flip it back over?
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I have all of like the measurements you want us to write down correctly. So what all do you want us to write down again?
So I want you to have the hem 4.5, 4.5.
Mhm.
I want you to have the full length, which is 23 all the way there. And then any of the cap measurements that you had when you drafted it, you can just leave that in. They don't all have to be in there, but just leave in what you have.
Okay. Okay, and then notches, it's the 3 on the top, and where's the other notches at?
Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot to talk about the elbow. It's 4 at the top, but looks like 3 because one's a double notch. And then usually we also notch the elbow, but I won't mark, I forgot to mention that. So it's nice to have it, but
And then you do want us to cut this out, right?
no, I took that out. You should never cut out your drafts. They should always be kind of like ready for test fit and stuff like that.
Okay. And then also when everybody else is done, can I talk to you about some assignments as well?
Yeah, now I have a feeling that other people are staying for the same reason. Let me just, does anybody else need to see it? I'm gonna-
Can I just look at the top, like the cap part for the measurements?
yeah. Oh, can you read it?
Yeah, thank you. Is it 5 3/8? I can't really.
The other way around, 3 5/8.
3 5/8. Okay. And then it's 1 in.
3/16.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna unpin. I wonder how I unpin myself. Maybe here. Remove pin. There we go. Okay, so Cassandra, are you here to talk about your
I was
Um,
just talk about some of the stuff that we've been emailing or that I emailed you about.
This, your project with,
Yeah.
okay. Um,
Do you have time to meet after class
I
possibly?
do. Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I don't want to give I can give you my address, but I don't want to, can we just do it by email?
Yeah, yeah. that's
When were you thinking we can get that arranged?
hopefully Friday, but possibly Thursday if I'm at a good place with my finals, but definitely by Friday.
Okay. I will email you back and then I'll just give you my address and then you can drop it. I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna head out too. Nancy, have a great summer.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Um,
Go ahead, Tracy.
So for me, I'm trying to add the draping class, but I think for your online draping, I think it's already closed.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm not quite sure if it's yours, but like some of them it's already closed. The only thing is I am actually like not able to like add my classes because they're putting a hold on my account because I have to like, since I'm an international student, I have to like purchase insurance and stuff like that for like the next semester. So I'm unable to do that. So if it's that, like, how do I like wait? Like if it's closed, do I still like, could I still email them and like, ask them to like put me maybe in like the wait list if it's
Well,
possible?
I can put you on a waiting list. I certainly can do that. That's a good idea. That's probably at this point all you can do. You could also just let Amy know that you're really want to get in and express, now that you get on a waiting list.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because what happens is that there's a lot of people at the end who will be like, oh, I didn't, I forgot I needed this class or something like that. And so if you're on the waiting list already, at least you get priority.
Yes, 'cause I think I might only be able to like maybe like put off the whole maybe by the end of like this month. So I was just worried because I did talk with my advisor and like, I did need like those classes for the major. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, even if I'm unable to like edit, should I like email like, to be on the wait list right now?
Yeah. The more communication that we get from you, the more we know that you're really into it and the more likelihood that we'll get you in.
Yes, okay. And also the other question was I did check my grade and like some of the stuff that I have missing, I'm not quite sure if you graded them, but it shows that it was graded, so I could still resubmit them, right? And
Yeah, I put in 0 so that people would know. I mean, I haven't done it on everything, but I wanted to kind of let you know where you're at.
okay.
So
Okay.
that like you can, and I'll keep doing that,
Yeah.
but you can still keep submitting, even if you have a 0.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's just so you kind of know, like, once you start submitting things, you can see where you're at so that you can actually stop submitting once you're passing or, whatever.
Okay, got it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all. And also I'll email like my other professors. Yeah, for the classes. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye. Okay, so you guys are sort of both in the same boat a little bit, I think, unless is there anything else? Are we talking about grades here or is there something?
Yeah.
else?
Can we keep submitting until Friday? I'm hoping to have all my work submitted.
Uh-huh.
I did want to let you know, I really enjoyed your class, but I did have to show you the stress that I made pretty quickly because I thought it was pretty bomb. I did it for another class. Here, actually, let me flip it around. I don't know if you can see it,
Wow.
but these
That's
are all
cool.
crystal chains. I actually wore this to a Louis Vuitton after party.
Wow. What's the base? Is it knit?
It is a knit. I'm not doing that again. I'm actually going to take it apart and redo it because the knit, it was great and it does that great bodycon thing, but it's a pain to put on and take off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, good to know, right? Good learning experience.
Yeah, but I only had 24 hours to make a dress for the event, and I only had such little time to find something, and everything that I found wasn't like couture enough. And I was like, you know what? I can just make it.
Yeah, yeah, and you can always sew it on yourself and then take it off.
Yeah. But I know I need this class for I am going to be a senior next year, but I know I need this class for our, what's it called? Our capstone class.
Mm-hmm.
The capstone class, I kind of wanted to, do you know any details about that by chance?
I think you make 3 garments, maybe.
Okay.
At least they may be different. Once you see the website, once it comes out for the runway show, you'll be able to see that's what they're doing for the runway show. So that's what you're going to be doing. I think it's 3 this year and I think they're supposed to be coordinating, but really I don't know much more about it.
Okay.
But those, mm-hmm.
I am gonna do wovens, but I kind of want to get started on the patterns now because I want to do couture.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I just have an idea of like where I want to go, and I'm like, I think I should get started on it now because I've got a few sketches that I'm like, you know what, that would be pretty cool. I just don't know if that would be allowed if I need my patterns to be done during the course.
Well, I would probably check in with whoever's teaching it. I think it's Amy, but sometimes Danette teaches it as well. You can certainly run it by them and see what they say. I mean, I would think that if you have a real strong idea, starting on the patterns would be fine. You probably need to be open to the fact that they might change a little bit, but it's easier to change them than it is to start from scratch.
Okay. Let me go ahead and submit some more work done, but thank you so much, Nancy, for all your help. I really appreciate you so much. I can't wait to meet you in the fall.
I know.
In person, finally.
All right, cool. So you're going to be on campus in the fall?
Hell yeah. I think I
Awesome.
have to.
Okay, great. We'll definitely meet up.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right. Oops, Tracy, you're still there?
Yep, sorry, I had to come back in. I was wondering when you're gonna post a recording, just so like I could check back and because I did miss out on some of this stuff, so I wanted to like like when you
I'm gonna, as soon as it goes up, it takes a little while to go into. In fact, I should unrecord right now because stop